Hey Geeks, it's Kev.
It's J-Law.
It's Nate.
And with Solo, a Star Wars story hitting theaters this weekend,
we're here to give you our first thoughts.
Spoiler free. So let's get to it.
Solo is a straight-up action-adventure space movie.
It's a much smaller story that seems to have a smaller impact on the Star Wars universe as a whole.
This story really feels very inclusive of the whole Star Wars universe.
It creates its own little pocket in this universe that we want to explore more. The characters are all entertaining and fairly well fleshed out, especially considering only so much time can be devoted to them while we need to focus on the main characters of Han, Chewie, and to a lesser extent Lando.
Anyone who is worried about Alden's portrayal of Han Solo can rest easy. He was great.
Alden is far from perfect in the role, but that's an impossible task considering the level of iconic status that Harrison Ford as Han Solo has accrued over the years. It's basically bordering on legendary. But while there are moments where he falters, there are also moments where he is absolutely spot on and even makes the character his own.
He did a superb job of being a wisecracking, arrogant, smug, confident, charming nerf herder.
You truly feel like you're watching a young Han Solo. This movie is not just about the man himself, it's about the relationships that form the man he is to become.
Seeing how Chewie and Han first meet is an amazing moment that no one should spoil for you.
His interactions with Chewie are perfectly nostalgic, while also building and fostering that relationship to levels we've never seen.
Chewbacca, I found more than any other movie that I've seen him in, he was more of a character in this film. He wasn't just a sideline or muscle or a one-off joke. He actually had a specific motive, he had a specific drive, and a specific goal for this film. Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian was fantastic. I would have loved to see more Lando in this movie, but then it wouldn't have been a Solo movie. It would have been a Lando movie. Coming soon.
Now, this is a standalone movie, and it feels like it. While the outcome of several of the main characters are never in question, the fates of some of the newly introduced characters are unknown, and to the movie's credit, as an audience, we care because of it.
For as much as Lando stole the show, L3 subverted all my expectations to what I would expect a droid to be like. There was something about L3's personality and her demeanor and her real drive as a character that was just so different than anything we've seen before.
There are so many Easter eggs in this movie.
Not only the visual Easter eggs, but the audible Easter eggs as well. The score that John Powell has written for this movie, there's themes from everywhere in the Star Wars universe.
This is going to take multiple viewings to catch every little detail that they've thrown in there. And that's really the beauty of this movie. Not only do they give us the answers to some of the questions we've been asking about Han for years, they answer some questions we never would have thought to ask. But we're better off for knowing it in terms of understanding and appreciating the character. Kasdan's writing is all over this movie.
Everywhere you look in this film, from the dialogue to the little nuanced moments that you see, he has a deep relationship with these characters, especially with Han. Some of the best Han moments were from Empire Strikes Back. I think Lawrence Kasdan took it as a pleasure to come back and write a meaningful story about a character that meant so much to him.
There are so many Han firsts in this movie, and we get to experience those with him. The dialogue is crackling, the character interactions are dynamic, and the story itself is engaging, with pacing that really shoots us through the galaxy with this awesome cast of characters.
What I love about this movie is that it is a true testament to practical effects. Because as we think of Star Wars, we do think of the great story, the great characters. There's a magic to how that galaxy was made. When you look back at those original movies and you see the level of costume design, set design, puppeteering, those were the type of techniques that helped build this universe to be what it really is. This film definitely continued that legacy. In the end, I think this really helped with the performances that we saw. It's so much different when an actor can walk on set and interact with actual characters and props and elements within a scene.
By the end of the movie, the consequences aren't as severe or dire as we're accustomed to in movies in the Skywalker saga, but the events of this movie don't just set up the desire for more stories, they create the need for them.
I wanted to see more, and I think this just furthers the point that we need a new Star Wars movie with new characters that separates us from this older universe. It will be okay.
The movie isn't without its flaws. Some of the nods to the past are a bit too on the nose, and there are a few bits of connecting the dots that are a bit of a stretch.
I loved what they did with the original characters, but I do feel as though there was a lot lacking in terms of what they did with the new characters.
But the good far outweighs the bad.
Ron Howard was really able to come into this film and drive it home. You have a veteran director who knows how to deal with big budgets, big sets, and he came in and he knocked it out of the park. Bradford Young is one talented cinematographer who's done some amazing work. And here you really get to see him exhibit this practical nature to how he wants to shoot. It all felt real, it felt gritty, it put you in the moment.
I'm so stoked to see that Disney is finally opening up to trusting its viewers to explore the additional canon.
Overall, if you want a movie with the kind of stakes we're familiar with, you may feel a bit of disappointment. But if you just want to go on another adventure in the galaxy far, far away with some of the universe's most beloved characters, you are gonna have a blast.
Fans are gonna love this film because it feels like a real Star Wars movie.
I'll give this movie 9 out of 12 parsecs.
10 out of 12 parsecs.
10 out of 12 parsecs.
Now, even though fan expectations were so low for this movie,
We feel Disney and Lucasfilm really landowed some great moments.
All in all, this movie really gave fans a ton to chew on.
Well, there you have it. Our first thoughts on Solo.
What did you like about the movie? What was your favorite L3 moment? Were you as attracted to Lando as I was? Do you also think droids should have equal rights?
Do you want to see a spoiler review? Let us know in the comments below.
as always, we are Geekcentric and you can be too.
So be sure to like, comment,
Share, subscribe,
And punch it!
and we'll see you guys soon.
get home safe, guys.
Love ya.
Peace.
Saga or Saga?